Ready?
That's good.
1, 2, 3, go.
Boom. All right. So message mapping in the past, we've used Lucidchart. We've used Google Docs, for the just a text tool. We've used MindNode, and they all work all right. But what we found was like the missing kind of piece is easy client collaboration during onboarding. So if it's just you can use whatever. But if you are an agency, you need something that you can build and edit. You need something that you can share with your client, and they need to be able to either do a comment or edit it directly or whatever. So in the past, like if it was just us or just internally our team, we'd use something like MindNode or whatever. And then we kind of moved towards, all right, let's just do it on a Google Doc. And this is not like all built out, but we would just do like the invite message 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then share that. But it's like a lot of people aren't familiar with the whole workflow, right? And so they had a hard time wrapping their brain around how a Google Doc turns into like the big picture. So we ended up using Google Drawings, and it's been really helpful. We actually just onboarded someone last week, and I was like, edit whichever one you prefer. Like, which one do you want? This one, the Google Drawing or the Google Doc, had the text here be the same, and it was the Google Drawing was preferred. So if you do this, this is kind of just our starting point, right? So this is just our starting point. We just do a box with the text, and then you can type in whatever you want there, right? So we'll do the invite message here. Assuming they connect, we'll wait if there's no reply. Your typical, if you're gonna do it yourself manually, or if you're gonna use any kind of tool, it's the same thing. Sometimes they're structured horizontally instead of vertically, whatever, right? But it's the same idea. There's the invite message 1. If they don't reply, 2, 3, you can maybe set a delay, whatever you want to do. When we're onboarding, we kind of just want to say, all right, what do we need to put all out on the table, right? If someone does not reply, what are we going to say? And then within that, what should we say to get them talking, right? So our model is more, we want to encourage a dialogue. So we're going to usually end on message 1, 2, 3. We're usually going to end with a question so that they start talking. And then if we're going to give an offer, it's going to be in the replies. I would rather give the offer and the call to action after there's the exchange. That you tend to get better conversion rates. But some people are just never going to reply. And so for the people that never do reply, we want to make sure that we put it all on the table. And when the sequence, if you will, ends, if they come back and read it later, it's just there, So usually we'll end kind of with the offer that we wanted to give in the dialogue. We'll end up usually ending it like around here, right? And then, so pretty straightforward. So sometimes there's an objection. So you might send the first message, and maybe it's more direct, maybe not. Sometimes people say, like, I'm not the right person to talk to. So they might object, and they might genuinely be, actually here, I'll just zoom in. They might object, and then they might genuinely not be a lead, right? Or they might object, but you're like, that's totally something I can overcome. And then you're essentially, I don't like to map out all the objections just because there can be so many, but your whole thing is you're moving forward, right? You're moving forward. So if someone objects, you really want to take it to the next stage and that kind of thing. So same thing with talking. If they're talking, then whatever you say, whatever you need to say. Sometimes you can give them the call to action right away. Sometimes it's later. Sometimes they'll reply and then they'll go quiet. So you need to know what to say after they go quiet, right? And usually it's like a jump a couple points ahead. Yeah.
Is all of this manual, Isaac?
Creating the messaging map?
I don't know. Do these messages and conversations, do these blocks happen manually by the user, or is any of this programmed in like what Judy and I are doing?
If you want to do any kind of automation, this is going to be this could be automated as long as it doesn't need to be terribly customized, right? But all the replies, the actual...
I'm not talking about replies. I'm not talking about replies.
So yeah, this could be automated. And So any tool that you're going to use is going to have a connection message and then a sequence after connecting, right?
There's no email in your sequence here, is there?
In this, that's a good question. In this one, there's not. I have another one, not in the same folder with email, but yeah, basically if someone never makes it here, we'll get their email after the invite is pending for like 2 weeks and then email them. Or
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about that you send them a couple LinkedIn messages, they don't respond, you send them an email.
Yeah, and then we'll do that at the end here. So we would do that email.
You'd wait till the end to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we do, Mike, is we would finish the sequence. We would wait like a few days or a week. And then if there's still no reply, then send that email. Yeah.
We're doing something different. And I don't know if it's better or not, but we're doing the automated welcome, automated connection request. Some of our folks are doing automated welcome messages. Most are not. They're doing manual. But at that point, we alternate every 3 days between email and LinkedIn. LinkedIn over here, email over there, LinkedIn over here, like footsteps in the snow is actually my PowerPoint slide on it. And we've got special software we've written that actually, the only part we use our automation tool for is sending that initial connection request. That's all we use the tool for, Judy. Everything else happens in our tool, sends the emails and the LinkedIn messages. And it circuit breaks if there's a response on either side. There's a few holes in the process, like if they email someone out of sequence or out of band, not a reply to our email, but start another email. We don't know if this one's been replied to. There's a few things like that, but that's where we're headed on that. And software is tough, man. We had a bug this morning, and some of our people had a different experience than other people. So we're at the bleeding stage with this. Okay, we're where Enguro is. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're sending emails not at the end of the sequence. We're alternating left to right, left to right, left to right between the two.
Is it?
I'm not more to tell you about how that's working, but our folks are getting leads from it already on the first week.
Mike, can I ask, if you're alternating the communication on the two platforms simultaneously, are you saying the same thing?
So yeah, two of the messages are pretty much reinforcing the other one. I sent you an email about this. I sent you a LinkedIn message about this. They reference, they reference it back and forth.
Yeah, that's cool. So basically, you're running the campaigns in parallel. What we've been doing is running them sequentially.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
we're zigzagging.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll see how it goes, but so far, the first week, one guy got two really great leads of folks that had gone dry. They weren't responding on LinkedIn. They like email better.
Yeah, email I'm really glad we brought email into the fold. Same thing here. We have had some really good leads come in because we started doing email. It just makes your efforts go farther. Do you think, Mike, if you're running the campaigns in parallel, do you think that you are shortening?
We don't consider it campaigns. We consider it we call it a multi-channel campaign.
Okay.
It's one campaign, just has two areas, just a little.
Yep. Totally get that. If you're running LinkedIn and email in parallel in your timeline, do you think that maybe you are shortening your window of engagement?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that's good?
Yeah, if they're going to pounce on an email message, I do think so. Yeah, the sooner, if I can get them on message 1 or message 2 or 3 instead of waiting for message 7 to start the next campaign, then hopefully the next campaign will bring them in. You're out a month or longer. There, we're picking up. We send a daily task, a daily email goes to our clients. It has the new connections, has the new responses, and starting next week, it'll have people that are 30 days past, and it's going to show their email, their phone number as well. So we show at the 30-day level with our daily task email that goes out to them. You want to see it? You want to see what the daily task email looks like?
You actually showed that to us one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So in that daily task email, there's a third section down at the bottom now that is people at the 30-day window who have a phone number that we were able to gather through our tool for them to call now. So
Yeah.
we might even have more to report on that soon.
Yeah. Do you,
The
Mike, do you-
email is what hooked them though. The ones that got them here is when they got the email this last week. There were 4 leads that came in across 3 people. So it's not a lot. Okay. But we just launched it last week.
do you, Mike, do you have, like, do you do anything like this where you present it to client and say, hey, does this, like, can you approve of this?
I have my similar diagram
Okay, cool.
in Lucidchart.
In Lucidchart, yeah. Yeah, Lucidchart's good. I like Lucidchart.
Mike,
know
that is
that.
amazing. Can I see that again? Oh
Yeah, so
my-
here, do you want me to walk you through? I'll bring it up.
Sure.
Wow, I'm sorry. I've got barking dogs because somebody's cleaning the hallway.
Let me see if I can, I logged out and I haven't logged back in. Let's see if it goes in. Yeah.
What's the cost on Lucidchart? I know that you can do free, but there's like
Free, but
there's like $20 limit. Can
20
you
bucks,
do
yeah.
can you do collaboration with someone without them needing to like have a Lucidchart account? Can they just
think
comment?
No, we had to get a team license or both log in as the same person.
I
Okay.
shared a file on the free version with somebody.
Can you
Okay.
let me share, Isaac?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I would love to know if what. Let's do this. Make co-host.
I just paid my bill. It was $240 for the year.
Ooh, okay.
So it comes out to $20 a month.
All right, here we are.
Their files.
All right, so the key at the top, the stuff in blue is the stuff that we do. I'm sorry, the stuff in the blue is the stuff that customers do, done by user. The stuff in white is done by us, and the stuff that's purple is automated. So we call our software app Janium. It's a special software app. So we use our special targeting. We create lead lists that can be scrubbed, and they go on into the Janium system. They also go into Ulink. Okay, here's Ulink and here's Janium. They work together back to back. The messages go in from this side into the system. So you got 2 inputs, messages and targets go in. This is where Ulink runs its process of sending connection requests. If they get accepted, we go over here. If they're not, if they're declined, they end over here. Actually, we would loop it right back on in and start them back in 90 days at the top here.
Yeah.
If they do accept, sometimes they respond to the connection request. Usually they don't. So they go into this next process here where we can be fully automated, or we can do a combination of manual and automation. They get this daily task email back here where they can click on the new connections, click on their responses, and soon dial phone numbers right from it. They qualify people and unqualified people end at the end of the road here. If they are qualified, they get a manual welcome message. If after so many days, it's 3 days now, it says 5+, we dropped it to 3 days, they go on to their nurturing plan here. It can be fully automated. It can be a hybrid, which is where the email comes in. This is email and LinkedIn here. And responses, once again, come on in this way. If they don't respond, they go all the way into a long-term nurturing database that we'll do something with in the future. So that's kind of how that goes. And if I do just one more, there's a slide I have on this that really sets the hook.
Can I ask a question here with Lucid related to Lucidchart?
Sure, go ahead.
If you're a service provider and you are using Lucidchart, can you share this with your clients during onboarding? And then can they like actually fill in the copy?
No, I wouldn't do that in Lucidchart. It's too tricky of a tool. I would do that in Google Docs.
Okay.
I wouldn't try to get them. That tool's not something you really want to teach them.
So you're using Lucidchart for your roadmaps, and then for the actual copy, you would use something like Google Docs or Drawings.
Sure, exactly so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, every document is, I have it up here. I can kind of show you, but this is kind of what we talk about. Once they connect, we nurture them, footsteps in the sand like that. And actually there's a phone calling algorithm that might happen at the end of the line there. See? So I have different ways I do. Yeah, this is the one I do here. End up with a phone call at the end. But we know when messages are sent along either things, as long as they're in band, Isaac. If someone strikes up a whole new email, we don't know about that. So then my client has to go in and take a couple tasks with that.
So that's where if somebody, the challenge then, are you using triggers with webhooks?
Yes.
So the challenge maybe is the challenge then when someone replies, or sorry, somebody replies to your sent email, that's fine. But if they start a new thread using the same email address, does that throw you off?
That throws us off. Yep. The other thing that throws us off is he insists on putting his email address in his signature line.
Mm-hmm.
So they connect with them and then they send him an email, and we have no way of knowing about that email. So that sends it for a loop. So there are certain processes where the client has to go on in and push a button to stop the process. And their daily task email has a button for him to push on. He just clicks on the disqualified to stop setting button in the email that comes every day.
Are they sending their emails from a CRM at all, or is that?
No, they're sending emails through SendGrid.
Because maybe, Mike, I don't know if this is a solution for your team to maybe think about, but sometimes you can do when an email comes in from an existing contact, you can look up by the email ID, and if it exists, then send the trigger. Not related.
Yeah, we might be able to do that. Our software is not that sophisticated right now, but I can see that coming around.
Yeah, not related to the email campaign, but related to that. You know, like if an inbound thing happens, look up by email ID and then send the trigger. That might.
You see, the LinkedIn email that people use isn't always the email that they use in their regular life either. So we have troubles with the two email addresses, the one showing on LinkedIn and the one that they actually reply from.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Not the Gmail account, it's the corporate account. So there's a few holes in it and stuff, but by and large, this is what we set up back and forth. This thing runs app stuff overnight. I have a cool dashboard now that shows me the amount of targets in the queue for all my clients. So I can see the amount in the sending queue.
You do in the dashboard.
12 hours.
What are you using for the dashboard?
Well, it's proprietary to our Janium software app here. Judy, we should talk about this, you and I, because we're at the stage now where these extra things are. I'll tell you, it's buggy right now. That's why I'm not pushing it out so much, because I want it to be bug free with new clients. Our existing folks understand that they're getting something that's not quite fully cooked.
Yeah, Mike, you could maybe turn this into a SaaS and then retire that way.
Well, we're looking to build it as a real regular software tool and sell it. It's going to sell for probably $75 a month.
Yeah,
that's our.
Well, if you're doing email, you could charge more than $75 a month.
Well, perhaps, but we're right now we're targeting 75. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is 75. The Janium tool is 75. Our tool is 75. We're trying to be at the same price as the other tools. So we're not. LinkedIn does a whole lot for their $80. How much are we doing for our 75? How much is YouLink doing for their 75? We think we're at the right stage. I tried it at 150 and the client wouldn't go for it. He said, no go. So that was just one client.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll stop there, but that's the two paths there, I think, is the sweet spot, and whatever you can do to smooth that process off, I think, that's what we're doing. That's what we think about it.
Yeah. So you've got two options if you're a service provider, or if you're doing it yourself. So you could run email and LinkedIn in parallel at the same time, or you could do one and then the other. You could. I think those really are your only two options, right? Same time or sequentially.
Yeah, I'll throw random.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you are needing collaboration to create your content, probably Lucidchart is not the best avenue. Yeah, like I'm thinking of all the people that are going to watch this later, and they're like just getting started with their agency.
Google has the best collaboration stuff. I'm serious. I'm going to look at Google Drawings. Their collaboration is wonderful. You click share on the other side, and the other side can log on in and do all this stuff. You can give them view edit or real view or full editor. Yeah.
So here, and I'll just do this just one more time here. So if you are needing the copy verified by your client, where you actually need to fill in the words for the LinkedIn messages, fill in the words for the email, maybe Google Drawings is a better avenue. And then what you can do is like, I just do Command Option M, and then it does a comment over here. So I can like tag someone and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or they can go and do suggesting or edit or whatever.
Isaac, in Lucid Charts,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure, I have to verify, but you could lock objects. So you can have a canvas and you can lock certain objects to where they are not, only certain people can edit them, and you can have some objects that are editable. And so, for example, for the copy, your client could go in to those squares and they can add content to that particular box. That's what they can have access to. Everything else is locked down. They can't change it.
Cool. So John, you're saying with Lucidchart, probably this is the team license. Do you know if you can do that with free?
Yeah.
Is that possible? Do you know?
I don't know if on the free version it's doable. I ended up going to the paid version because of the sharing, and because then you can also you can share it to email, you can share it to Box, you can share it to Dropbox, you can share it to all sorts of things. And I'm a big, we've run everything off of Google Suite or Google, whatever they call it now. And but I just find the drawings and Google Drive still a little funky as far as the sharing parameters, what have you, where if I want them to go and input something, you can, like I said, in Lucidchart, you can lock objects and then leave certain objects editable. And that's how I use it amongst the staff. I say, hey, I need your input here.
Yeah.
But I don't want them messing with anything else.
Yeah.
I don't see putting a message into Lucid into these squares here as being the right way to go for me, Isaac. We're going to keep our stuff in a Google Doc. This doesn't seem to be the place to do your editing of your messages, to take them out of here and paste it into somewhere else. I think those squares are small, and our stuff is going to scroll within it. And
so probably if you are in startup phase, a Google Drawing might be more appealing just because of the cost. And then maybe if you're a larger, more sophisticated agency that's already using Lucidchart for other things, might make sense to do that there. Assuming that the editing permissions is paid. If it's free, then hey, free's cool. But that's cool. John, thanks for the info there with Lucidchart.
yeah, it's nice to have an expert here, John. You're the Lucid expert.
Well,
Lucid
I'm just happy I could contribute to something.
Very cool. Yeah, so we, just to kind of zoom out, and it's Mike, it's cool that you can do the email and the LinkedIn side by side. It's a new perspective for me, because what we've been doing is we just do them sequentially. So we'll run them through LinkedIn, and if they either don't accept or they don't talk, then they'll enter an email campaign. And so between the two, like this might be from the invite to the last message might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then the email campaign might be another 2 or 3 weeks. And so someone's really getting our info for like 6-8 weeks. That's cool.
We're hitting right at 30 days where our sequence ends right at 30 days, right about there. And that's when the phone number shows up on their daily email that comes to them that says, hey, these guys are at the end of the line. Do you want to call them?
Yeah.
But
I gotta run, guys. I'm going to say bye. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, Judy. Talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Take care.
Mike, I'll connect with you. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, dear. Yep. I do have a call at the top of the hour as well, so I got to get
All right.
out in a few minutes.
Let's rock and roll. We'll see you guys later.
Well, I got a question though. Any update on Apollo? Have you done any more with it?
No, I mean, we've done it for a couple projects, but since last week, no.
No.
I've
Okay.
never done anything. Yeah. I think that Apollo I think they have superior account level targeting because of how you can dig in with, I mean, it's pulling from LinkedIn plus Facebook, I think, plus their website, Meta, and everything.
Yeah.
So there are certain account level targeting things that you might want that you just can't get in Sales Nav company search. Like I'm thinking especially the Meta from their website. right? That's just so helpful because it's another place where they might have said something about themselves that you need for targeting. You just wouldn't have on their company page. I think a website tends to get updated more than a LinkedIn company page.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. That was quite interesting, that app. I'm gonna dive deeper into it.
Yeah. The export feature also is very cool.
Yeah.
But definitely run the emails through a verifier before sending.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, thanks, everyone. See you
Later.
next week.
See
Thanks for
ya.
the time.